you're in Florida, okay? Now, I grew up in New York City. New York City, as you probably know, is not like a big college football town.
It is not.
At all.
At all.
I'm like acutely aware of you and what's happening, right? So I'm like, okay, this is something else. There's like this, there's a different level of stardom. You're walking around like on college. Can you even go to class? Or is it something where people going, this is too much of a distraction, you can't go?
No, I took a lot of pride in actually going to class. Sometimes it would be hard leaving class because there would be a lot of people that sometimes be waiting, especially when it would come to like Thanksgiving and Christmas, because then they would all have like the jersey or the football they would want you to sign to give to their family for Christmas. That made it difficult. That was tough.
So can we backtrack a little more? Even so, you go to Florida, you're homeschooled,
Yes.
and then they have a rule that allows you to go play football even if you're homeschooled.
Yeah, and
you play football. You win a state championship with a broken fibula.
Yeah. Well, it happened earlier, but yes.
Okay. Yeah, we're slicing hairs. But okay, so you win the national championship. You go to Florida. What's that recruitment process like? Because my understanding of recruitment is they'll throw girls at you, they'll throw XYZ at you. That ain't anything you're interested in.
With all due respect, obviously, we know his story.
Yeah. So, but what's recruitment like for you? It's probably different than it was for Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I can't wait to talk about Aaron. But go on. Okay.
I would say that recruiting was really unique and different from school to school. And the schools that really do it well, like the Alabamas, the LSU, Southern Cals, Michigans, they do it really well. And actually, I didn't think that Florida at the time recruited as well. I wasn't even interested in Florida until my senior year. They got rid of the whole coaching staff, brought in Urban and Mullen and all these great coaches. And it really changed I was honestly planning on going to Alabama the whole time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's ironic.
Until the very last moment. And people don't actually realize how close it was. I literally had to tell the world on like maybe December 15th at 5 p.m. in the afternoon in an auditorium that was packed, half orange and blue, half red and white. And I was so torn. I couldn't make a decision until literally the last second. And I'm standing outside with my dad, and there's a process that leads up to it. And I couldn't make a decision. And I'm just like, Dad, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And he's like, all right, let's go back over priorities. This is 5 minutes before I have to tell the world. And he says, all right, Timmy, what are your priorities? And I say, that is what you tell me. It's the people. It's always about the people. It's most important. It's who you're around. He said, I agree. But can I ask you a different question? What if it's not about all the people, but it's just about one person? Because you can't get coached and mentored and trained by everybody. If you could just pick one, who would you pick? And I said, man, I love Coach Schulz at Alabama. But if I could just pick one, it'd probably be Coach Meyer. He said, okay, and there you go. And I said, all right, I'm going to go to Florida.
Why Coach Meyer? Over Saban is, I think we'd say the
Saban
greatest.
wasn't at Alabama
at the
then.
time.
Coach Schulz was still at Alabama, and then they got rid of him after the next year and brought in Saban.
Do you
and
regret,
that changed
you
all
regret
of it.
how it all worked out? You think maybe he could have gone Saban, dude?
I think he was still at Miami with the Dolphins
and then
at
he
the
left
time.
them high and dry. Yeah. But, okay, so you decided to go Florida.
Well, so then I pick up the phone, and this is the funny part. I pick up the phone to call Coach Schulz to tell him I'm not going to go to Alabama because I think that's the right thing to do. And so I pick up the phone, and I was very close with him and his family, and they're just awesome people. And I was very close. So I got emotional telling him, and he had some tears. And I said, Coach Schulz, I'm so sorry, but I'm not going to go to Alabama. And he said, Timmy, you stop right there. I love you just as much now as if you came to Alabama. You're going to have a great career, and hopefully I get to coach you one day.
Wow.
And I hang up the phone. I look at my dad, and I said, Dad,
I made the wrong decision.
that's the coach I'm supposed to play for. That's the one I'm supposed to play for. And then I was like, no, I'm not going to get swayed. I'm going to go to Florida. So I pick up the phone to call Coach Meyer, and I got like 3 minutes before I have to tell the world. Pick up the phone to call Coach Meyer. I'm wiping off these tears from Coach Schulz in Alabama, and Coach picks up, and he's like, hey, Teeves, how we doing? And I'm wiping off tears, so he doesn't know they're Alabama tears, but he's like, and I say, hey, I'm good. Hey, Coach, I'm coming to Florida. And right before I say that, his phone goes dead. And so he's in the car because he knows I'm about to make a decision. He's got ADD and he's trying to, just drive to be able to relax. And so he stops and he's trying to get his BlackBerry charged. And I guess that's why it went, but I was out of business. I'm not sure, but he's trying to get the charge back on and turning it back on. It won't go. It's going to voicemail. And they're like, you got to get on stage. You got to get on stage. So I rush onto the stage and I sit down, and my family and some friends and coaches are sitting up on stage, and they're got a countdown going. Their ESPN's miking me up. My dad's sitting right beside me. And as they're miking me up and they're literally counting down, I go, Dad. And he's kind of annoyed at me. He's like, what, Timmy? And I said, Dad, I didn't actually tell Coach Meyer I'm going to Florida. I could still go to Alabama. and so the audience can't hear me. But everyone, because I'm mic'd, everyone with ESPN can hear me.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of see they're like, what's wrong with this kid?
People working on the production.
Yes. Oh my God. They're like, what's wrong with this kid? And I'm like, Dad, what'd I do? And they're like, 5, 4, what do I do? Yeah. And then we go live and I answer all the questions at the end. They say, next year, where will we be playing college football? And man, on one hand, it felt like a split second. On the other, it felt like eternity. But going back and forth, I really just went back to what my dad said and why I picked Coach Meyer is I really think that his vision and his belief were different, unique, and contagious.
What do you mean by that?
That hope is a good thing, especially when we talk about it as like a faith-based thing. But hope for a college football team, it's a sucky strategy. You don't show up on Saturday and hope is your strategy.
Right.
And there's too many that hope was their strategy. But for Coach, that wasn't it. He would pull you into his office and I said, Coach Meyer. I shouldn't say Coach here. You're like Coach. And he would pull you into it and he would say, hey, this is what we're doing. But if we get you and we get this player and we get this player, this is what we'll do.
Right.
And this is how we'll attack a defense. Mm-hmm. And so what I think great leaders do is they paint a vision of where you're at, but where you can be if you buy in and you get the right pieces. Yeah. And that's what he did that was so unique and special. But then it's not just enough to have the vision. You also have to believe in it with your whole heart. Right. You have to believe in it. And those were two things that I felt like were so contagious, and the best leaders do. They have a vision. People can see it. You can communicate it. You can command it. Right. But then you believe in it wholeheartedly. And that was contagious for me. So I really felt like at the end, that was the turning point.
Okay. I'll go through a wall for this guy. I mean, even just the way he said that.
We're going to get to some of his speeches. He's got some all-time speeches. But, okay, so you go to Florida. I think, is it your freshman or sophomore year, you're backing up Chris Leak, and you're used as kind of like a utility player. Yeah. And I remember seeing you running for a touchdown, and then you did some like phone celebration. You were talking a little smack.
That was LSU.
It was LSU?
That was at LSU, and that was because they got my phone number. And I think it was the old, what was it called? Razor.
The Razor. The pink one, right?
And I literally,
that was the coolest one.
I could not flip it open and close it without answering a call.
Why? Because they leaked your number.
Yeah, they leaked it and whatever. And so, it was all day. Yeah. But the stuff it was not like trash talk.
It was like vile things they're saying.
Yeah, it was like my mom's name and we're going to burn her at the stake.
Yeah,
and it was like my sister's names and what they were going to do to them. And some were, I think, just playing, but some just take it way too far.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we went to that stadium, I was very upset. And so when we scored that time, I ran over to the student section and said, dial me up, keep calling, let's go.
Wow.
Which is fire.
Probably not the most humble thing I've ever done. But
this was funny.
Sick, though.
I was also it was just personal.
No, I know. And I didn't know that backstory. And the announcers said, this is my introduction to you. They said, Tim Tebow will talk a little smack to you or something. And I was like, oh, he's like a cocky guy. I didn't know you as a God-fearing person, whatever. And then I found that out, but I was like, oh, he'll still talk a little trash, which I think is cool. It's
Were you talking some shit?
No, not really to the players. I wouldn't necessarily talk. A lot of trash. We had a lot of players on our team that were really good at that. And I could let them do it.
So they would handle it for
There was
you.
a few times that they were so funny, like talking trash, at the line of scrimmage, I would verbally laugh.
Like what?
This is perfect.
Who was the best? Who was the best on the line?
Oh, well, I love them very dearly, and this is just positive, not in a negative way for them. But the Pouncey twins are they're just the best. They're just the best.
Okay, what would they say? What is
a lot of stuff that I can't repeat and won't repeat. But they would know certain things about the D tackle or defensive ends, and then it would just be a constant. They would just keep going through a Rolodex and just wearing them out. And see, for me, it's never like that. It was more of just like when I get tackled, and there would be a lot of stuff that people would say or spit. Like, you know, we made a big deal about spitting. I can't tell you how many games someone spit on me.
Spit on you?
Oh, a lot. Yeah.
And they didn't even know you're into that.
Their mistake.
Joke's on you.
But one of the best ways that I've found to really bother people and really get under their skin is truly with kindness. And I don't say that as a joke. Like, I would get hit, and if I beat them up and I was like, and they're saying something, you know, that they're trying to get in their mind, I'm like, man, that's a great hit, dude. God bless you, man. I appreciate you. I'll see you next play. Like, it would drive some of them nuts. I'd be like, what do you say? You know? You can't say that. I've had so many that would say, you can't say that to me. And it was like, why am I gonna? I'm not gonna play the same game. As you.
That's smart.
And you lean into what you are. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's like,
you know, don't get me wrong. There's some times that my temper was definitely close to getting the best of me.
Yeah.
Freshman year, y'all won the national championship. You beat OSU, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then so you're kind of utility guy. What's that like when Chris Leak leaves, the starting QB, and it's like now it's your show? And I remember there was hype about you, but like I don't think we knew how you would lead an offense, etc.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of. I think two things. One, I got to play a lot of crucial moments. Most of the time I got to play, it was the red zone, third down, fourth down.
Yeah.
So when I would run into the game, you don't get first and second down to prepare, right? So that really helps you though. Cause when you're thrown in there, you're playing in a critical moment of a critical game, right? So you don't have time to kind of warm up. I think that really helped handling the pressure then for the next year. But there was a lot of,
externally, I mean, the pressure, the noise, like, I think they won the basketball championship too.
We did. It was awesome.
But now you got to repeat
Joakim
the
Noah,
pressure.
Al
It was
Horford, Corey Brewer, the whole squad.
Unbelievable.
It was unreal. They
Corey
were
Brewer
so
is dear to my
awesome.
heart. He helped the Mavs win a championship with one amazing playoff game, and I love him forever. But
He won two
love that
championships
team.
with us, so I'll always
they're
love
awesome.
him too.
But the pressure that's on you coming in off of that success, and people don't trust you as a QB yet.
No, and I think that a lot of where they were skeptical of, well, can you do more than just third, fourth down, red zone? Can you be a quarterback, a full-time quarterback, or can you actually sustain getting hit that much?
Yeah.
Can you actually play that physical of a style of football?
Right.
And so there was a lot of criticism that took place and leading up to that season, and I've always been a people pleaser. I think one of my big flaw for me is being a people pleaser.
That's how we got you on this podcast. Sorry.
No, but it really is a you know, sometimes it can be an okay thing, but sometimes it can be a downfall.
Of course.
Right? You want to please people. And I remember just hearing all of that noise and criticism going into that next season. I remember reading a book about Winston Churchill, and he has a quote or he says, if you have enemies, good. It means you stood for something at least once in your life. And I thought, dang, can that really be true? How can it be good to have enemies? But you see, one of the things about Winston Churchill is this was a time in his life when most of the world couldn't stand him. The Allies thought he was losing the war and everybody else was his enemy, right? But he stood by his convictions in such a way that maybe they couldn't understand it, but later they would come to respect it. And one of the things that kind of switched in me that I still have to work on a daily basis is trying to go from being liked to strive to be respected. Because there's a big difference. Like, could you imagine on social media, if it wasn't a like button, if it was a respect button? What would be the difference though?
You get a lot less of those. Most people would.
But in my mind, you know, sometimes I just try to make things very practical.
It's a really good point because being liked is oftentimes just repeating what somebody else feels or thinks.
Yes,
right?
and
like
it's
valid.
fickle.
Yeah, it is fickle because the second you divert from their feelings,
Instant.
they hate you.
Yes. You say one thing we agree with. You say one political stance, one faith-based stance, one, you know, stance on anything you're convicted by. And if it just likes, you know, then it's gone. But if it's deeper than that, if it's based on respect, which ultimately a hope and prayer for our society is we would take the next level of honoring and respecting people, not just liking or disliking people, because it's so surface and fickle.
Well, yeah, that's like the dehumanization problem, I think.
Wow.
Where it's like you get this like two-dimensional
talk about
view
that.
of everybody. And I think the internet kind of
I would love for you.
I would love to talk about it.
Yeah, no,
Talk
like
about it. I
no,
think you have a
but-
very unique perspective.
But just to get it out is like, yeah, you don't really see people as like full people. You see them as these like digital avatars, right? So there's this like people have an idea of you depending on like what their existing beliefs already are. So there are some
Or what
people
the media has said.
exactly, but like
And they have
but
these
now like,
stereotypes that are
but
built
depending
out.
on what the media says, right? Because there's a bunch of different like media platforms right now. Like the people that like you will get the good things that people say about you, and the people
right.
that don't like you will get the bad. And they neither of them have an accurate idea of you.
Yeah. The people that praise me, they don't see all the flaws, and the people that hate you, they don't see your heart in trying to do good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's a mixture. And I think that's one of the things that was a lot for me of feeling just not enough sometimes when I go into a stadium, especially in college early on, was, man,
Even with all your success.
yeah, but it's almost bigger. It was like, if this goes good, then I'll get way too much praise. Way too much praise.
that you don't feel like you deserve.
No, that it's for the whole team. We had a freaking amazing team,
Oh,
and it would be
interesting.
too much praise for this.
Interesting.
But if we lose, then you're going to get criticized by the majority of the country, and you're just kind of
This is what
there's a tension in the weight.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. I want to give context for people who don't know college football. In the South, where you went to college especially, it is a religion. These are 18, 19, 20-year-old
For
kids.
some people, more so.
Yeah, and it is. People are so. If you went to Alabama, you went to like people. That's all they care about. There's nothing else for them. It's this. So that kind of pressure on an 18, 19-year-old kid walking into a stadium is a lot, man. I just want to give some context to what that is.
It really is. It's a lot. It's for a lot of countries, maybe they could compare it to the intensity of soccer in certain places. Where my wife's from, they could compare it to rugby or cricket.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But she also gives me a hard time. She's like, no, all you football players are soft because all our rugby players, they don't need to wear pads. So you don't got to wear pads.
It's the pads that are dangerous.
Yeah.
Like not, I mean, that's what they say, right? It's like not wearing the pads, you're going to hit someone in a
Well,
specific
especially
way.
the helmet, right? You're
Exactly.
talking about,
Yeah.
Yeah, but once you have all the pads on, it's just like, all right, I'm
can
just
run
going to
full speed.
dive into
Yeah.
you full
That's
speed.
also why I can't remember what you just said.
Exactly. Do you ever lean on the CT?
Hi, I'm Tim.
When she's asking you to do stuff, do you ever CT?
he has to keep repeating himself.
But do you ever do that with her? Like, do you pretend you have it so you don't have to do chores? Or
that's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart.
No.
Never?
Sorry, I
No,
lost my
she's
temper
way too
earlier.
smart for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
dude,
is
you
like
gotta
a
have
full-time excuse.
Yeah, you have that in the back pocket. I think my
I
dad.
can't remember. Sorry.